a Q&A with Kevin Thirlwell today. He pointedly just said that Russell Martin needs to do better and quickly. And with an £8 million striker, I guess the pressure will be on even more so now on Martin after the international break.
I do love how football clubs work. We're all talking about Celtic hierarchy, not speaking when all the flack's going on. You never really heard anything from up above, another nightmare of Bruges, but all of a sudden money's spent on the window and people want to speak out. It's like, but yeah, what the boys were saying was absolutely right. I mean, it's a very simple tree as such. You know, if you consider that, you know, Kevin Thirlwell and Patrick Stewart were instrumental and were giving the backing to appoint Russell Martin, well, basically Russell Martin's got to deliver for Kevin Thirlwell, and Kevin Thirlwell's got to deliver for the board, and a lot of them have got to deliver for the fans. So it's a chain of events, and Kevin Thirlwell has made it clear that, you know, the money that's been spent and the players that have been provided, and it's now up to Russell Martin, his appointment, to make it work.
See as well, Sonny, I mean, this, I should mention, like David in the comments says, come on the Jambos. Obviously, we know Hearts have made a great start. I mean, Hearts are already 6 points out of the Rangers, but Aberdeen as well. Like, when I saw Aberdeen, I mean, just last night, signing Stuart Armstrong on a 2-year deal. I know he's 33 now, but he was, you know, he's been a brilliant player throughout his career. Yeah. And of course, Jesper Karlsson, who 2 years ago was a €12 million signing for Bologna. I mean, to get both those bits of business and Kevin Nisbet for a knockdown price, that's seriously good going for Aberdeen.
Yeah. Within the package of those players, you have international experience, you've got quality, you've got experience of the league, you've got everything in there, which you would want from three signings. And for Aberdeen to get these boys was a tremendous end to the window. To be fair, the club said right at the outset when the Scottish Cup was won and the European money was guaranteed that they were going to back Jimmy Tilleen, and they have done so. Listen, Aberdeen needed a shot in the arm. It's been a dreadful start to the season, in fairness.
Yeah.
And they needed something. But maybe this is like this international break. Okay, it's been a nightmare start for them, but this international break will just allow them to turn the page and kick on again. And hopefully improve for their sake, hopefully improve their fortunes. But no, 3 excellent signings. And listen, I don't know whether it's been the promise of with the restructuring of the European competitions. And I may have to be corrected here. I'm not sure how it will work for next season in terms of as a team guaranteed to get. I think we spoke about it the other night. Even if you don't want to play off, the teams have been able to parachute into the Conference League, and still get the sort of £5-6 million. I'm not sure if that's still in place.
I think next season, I think it is, but then 2 seasons from now it changes.
Well, certainly, you look at the outlay at Hibs, spending £1 million on strikers. You look at the incomings at Hearts, Aberdeen. There's a bit of money flying around, and clearly, this is one of the reasons why. Because if you could get in there and start to, I can remember. I can't remember if it was Robbie Nielsen or Stephen Naismith that spoke about it at Hearts, but you get in there once and you're not going to use that money. You're not going to catch Celtic and Rangers with 1 year, but what you do is you use the money to establish yourself as the third best. Then you get the money again, and that then gives you the opportunity to get closer.
Yeah.
Well, it should also give you a team to ensure that you can get through the qualifying rounds the next, and you keep building and building and building. And none of the teams have been able to do it yet. None of them that have got in have all suffered a hangover the next year and struggled, and it's cost a few managers their jobs, in fairness.
Yeah.
Struggling in the group stages the following season when they get in, because it's very difficult to keep squads running, and that would be another big part of the signings made by Aberdeen. They're going to have to juggle both domestic and European football through the season, and you're going to need a lot of bodies, and you're going to need a lot of numbers. But it's not just numbers for the sake of numbers. That's the encouraging thing if you're an Aberdeen fan. That's quality that's been brought in there. Stuart Armstrong's obviously reaching a later stage of his career, but what a player he was. He is, I should say. I made it sound like he retired. A cracking player with all sorts of brilliant experience, So he'll still have plenty in the tank.
Rebel in the comments points out that Fletcher Boyd, who was a very promising Aberdeen player, he moved from Aberdeen to Aston Villa for £1 million yesterday, but still an amazing window, or into the window for Aberdeen, I would say.
That's been spoken about a lot, hasn't it? About some of our young talents going away, and it happens. And we've seen it happen at Aberdeen before with some of the talent, Ryan Fraser and
Aye.
like that leaving. So as long as I've been properly compensated, of course you like the boy, but as long as the money's good, then that's fine.
Aye. G asks, who do we think will come second and third? Look, I know we've talked about this a million times over the years, Swanee, but can anyone mount a serious title challenge? Can anyone disrupt the old firm? Look, if it was going to be any season, you would think this is as good as any. And you look around Europe at clubs that have staged massive shocks. There's almost every league in Europe since the turn of the century. I mean, Leicester in England, AZ Alkmaar in Holland, Montpellier in France, Stuttgart in Germany. There's been so many, Union Saint-Joan in Belgium. Every league, there's been at least one season where it's been a massive shock. It's just kind of, I mean, Scotland's got to have a year like that sometime, no?
It can't even be considered until February before you can even talk about it, because I heard it all before. I remember sitting on Hotline Live a year ago and everybody tell me I was an idiot for saying that. I still didn't ask me about Aberdeen after 20 games, not 10, and I was getting slaughtered, and look what happened. It's very difficult to keep it going right the way through Christmas, because remember, the way the season's structured, you play a good chunk of your games before the new year. I think you've maybe played by the end of, I think it's maybe 21, 22 games. If I've got that right, I might have that wrong. So you can
No, I think you're right.
Beat me up if you want. Certainly used to be it was weighted to the first half of the season, and then it thinned out a wee bit with Scottish Cup and European and international breaks and things like that. If a team's up there at the end of January, ask me again.